Hi, I'm the Multifarious Fisherman. This is Seven Fish. I got a little different video for you today. I was walking the other day, and at the end of the road, I saw something move out of the corner of my eye. I looked up, and there was a fox. And I didn't have a camera with me that day, but I went back at roughly the same time the next day with my camera. I got a little footage of it. Pretty happy with the footage and wanted to share it. Not really fishing related, but if you are here for the foxes, just turn the audio down because I'm going to talk about fishing with your eyes open. I used to do some seminars on musky fishing, and one of the things that I always talked about is fishing with your eyes open. And this relates in that, had I not been paying attention to my surroundings, would not have seen that thing move, would not have seen one, let alone four foxes, and would not have gone back and filmed those four foxes. When I talked about fishing with your eyes open, I think you get some weird looks, but what I'm talking about is paying attention. When you're fishing, the good fishermen that I fish with, the people that really do well, are aware of things that a person that is just sort of out there for the fun of it doesn't necessarily notice, and that's fine. You can go out there and you can fish like that and have a nice time and whatever, but if your goal is to be successful, you need to apply some of what you do in other areas of your life that make you good. You also need to apply it to fishing. There's a lot of new people out that are fishing to get away from COVID quarantine or whatever, just to get out in the wild. You're not running your kids all over. You're not having football and soccer practice and everything and run your kids from here to there. So you want to get outside, you want to get out and fish. And that's great. A lot of people that are new to it, don't have the level of experience or don't really know, and they want to learn. They want to learn quick so that they can be successful. A lot of the fishermen that I know that are very good fishermen, they fish a little differently than people that are new to it or that are just out there having a nice time. What I mean when I say fishing with your eyes open is being observant, being aware on a level maybe that you wouldn't otherwise be if you weren't conscious of it, we weren't thinking about it. I'm not a very good golfer, and I haven't golfed for quite some time, but I can make an analogy to golf in that, somebody that's not a very avid golfer, maybe not a very experienced golfer, would go out and say, wow, that hole number 5 was really long. And that would be what they'd take away from playing a hole. A golfer that is pretty good would say it's a long hole, but it's dogleg left and the fairway slants from right to left in this location, but from left to right on this location. You start to notice things about how the cup is placed in the green and how that the slope of the hill and all of these things that maybe don't initially occur to you, but as you golf and as you become more accustomed to golfing, you pay attention to elements that will make your score lower, ultimately would make you better at the game. A lot of times when you talk to somebody, they might say, well, we found crappies in 11 foot of water. A guy that's really kind of paying attention will say, yeah, we found schools of crappies in 11 foot of water on main lake channel bends near some timber. And you go to 10 spots and they're not all the same. You can't just go out in the lake and fish 11 foot of water and catch fish. They get out there, they get on the electronics, and maybe there's bait fish in the area. And so all of a sudden, okay, now there's some reason for these fish to be in this location. That's an oversimplification because there are so many things that can be the thing. But it's just the idea that you go out there, you fish, you pay attention, you notice things, and you act on it. If you can find fish, you may have to struggle to figure out what it is that they're going to eat that day or what's going to entice them to eat. I know sometimes when I'm running spinners in, trout are chasing and darting at them, but not striking like they normally would when they're active and want to feed. I know if I pump my rod slightly and make that blade kind of flutter, sometimes that will elicit a strike where otherwise they're just chasing. Sometimes I need to count it down until, it's a certain depth before I start to retrieve. Sometimes I'm retrieving with 4 cranks a second. 5 cranks a second, 6 cranks a second. Sometimes when we're trolling, which I don't do a lot of, but if we're trolling at 1.2 and getting bit and we move up to 1.8 to try to cover water a little faster, stop getting bit, obviously it's something to pay attention to. The concept of fishing with your eyes open is to pay attention to a lot of things, try to figure out what it is that is particularly good on a day that is particularly good, figure out what makes this bay better than that bay, this point better than that point. Is it current? Is it wind direction? Is it water temp? Is it presence of weeds or lack of weeds, the presence of springs or lack of springs, rock on the bottom. There's just so many variables. And I realize that this is non-specific, but that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about fishing with your eyes open. It's just a matter of trying to pay attention and figure it out. Because again, you'll go in 10 bays and 2 of them will be good. What you have to notice is what is similar and what is dissimilar about the bays. The similar about the ones that are successful, similar about the ones that are unsuccessful, and dissimilar between the ones that are successful and not successful. The faster you figure that kind of stuff out, the more you are kind of on the road to being successful at fishing. So you got to put in the work. You got to go out. People want the easy answer. They want somebody to tell them, oh, when it's 52, you need to throw this lure and you need to run it this fast. But it isn't always as simple as that. I want to express to you that there are a lot of things that we notice, that we find, and we try to be descriptive when we're fishing. We try to be descriptive in the videos. I don't necessarily, pull up a chalkboard and go, this is 52 degrees and this is the angle that we were running these lures at and stuff. But we do sprinkle that stuff throughout the videos. I recently, Frogging with the Left-Handed Hunter, he talks about the side of the bay that had the wind in it, the side where, there was more weeds, less weeds. It's shallow over here. The water is warmer over here, and his expectation for fish, and then of course the results that you see on the video. There are more tips in there if you watch them than you probably realize watching them. So I want you to be, when you're watching it, there may be stuff in there that you're not paying attention because your eyes aren't open. Quote, I'm making air quotes with my hands. There are things that happen when you're on the water that are probably helping you or would be helping you if you were paying attention to them catch more fish. Hopefully that's helpful. Thanks for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the foxes, and I hope you will join us again. We do a variety of different things on this channel, and hopefully you appreciate the variety. It's not always the same thing, but that's what we're going to give you. We're going to keep trying different stuff and seeing what people like and don't like, and also doing what's fun for us. So have a good day.